Hi, today's topic is why is depression a taboo topic, generally speaking. It's a topic that fascinates everyone. It's on many people's lips. It's discussed widely, and yet it fails to grasp what it actually is. So what I'd like to do with today's panel is to ask them why might depression be a taboo topic, and just see if you go a little further with it. So if everybody has about a minute and a half maximum to speak, and let's see where this topic takes us.
Well, depression's taboo because it can be seen as a sign of weakness, right? Like, why are you depressed? Like, it's like you're vulnerable, you know, everyone else is happy, everyone else is confident and life's going well for them, and something's getting you down, right? And it's, when you kind of talk about it, you have to find the right person to talk to about it, and how, like, you know, because people see you as depressed, they don't want to know you, you know what I mean? They want to be around more happier people, so you're kind of seen as a burden on people, so you got to try and force this happy sort of mask, if you will, right?
Yeah. Desmond, what are your thoughts on why might it be?
I do agree with Shannon what he was saying there. Depression, see, I'm manic depression, bipolar, so I've gone through a lot of things and developed stuff over the years and met people that really frustrate you and get you depressed. So, but you really got to keep it simple. Like, I mean, stop listening to people. You know,
Telling you how to be or
what
to be
to
different.
do and be different. Like, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing this. Like, you know, like, people can cause a lot of stress in your life.
I'd like to explore a little bit further what it's like to be told to be different in the way you feel, but I'd like to hear from Paul first.
With regards to taboo, well, it depends. If you're on a cultural societal level, I think it's finally turning around. It's not as taboo as it used to be. But when you get into the industrial complex or the employment sector, it's still very uncharted territory, because I think where the whole issue of taboo comes from, depression being taboo, is that people are still making some critical assumptions on a person's character, or inferring something about them based that they might have been diagnosed with depression or something, and so that's why they don't want to talk about it. So, but there's a lot of misconceptions still out there that have yet to be.
So what kind of misconceptions, what kinds of things are people saying, and how do you feel when someone tells you to be different? So if you feel sad or upset, what's it like when someone says, well, don't be like that?
It's pretty crappy,
Yeah,
to be quite honest.
Actually, I've got a bad temper on me, and someone says something to me, I can actually go off my head, which, you know, people know how I am sometimes. So I get really angry about things, and I don't know if it's my bipolar coming out, but over the years, growing up as a kid and that, certain things happen that can trigger things off in you. Like, everyone's born with certain problems, but something happens in your life that triggers it off, and you get worse, depression. Especially if you turn to drugs or something, that can really make it worse in being depressed. So
you're looking for ways to deal with it,
yeah,
ways
so
to get
people
yourself out of
actually
the
looking,
situation.
they either turn to drugs and alcohol.
Is that why perhaps it becomes a taboo topic, because it becomes loaded with negative qualities rather than other more positive qualities, which might also be there, in the background.
So people really got to stay away from trying to drown themselves into the alcohol and drugs or whatever, because it doesn't help at all.
There's a general naivety or not understanding it, but I'd like to put something in the room. I once heard a quote, and be interested to see how that resonates. In an effort to cut through the discourse that's out there that's not helpful, right? It's not useful.
People that have to help themselves, you can go to doctors.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been in psychiatric wards and that.
And how are you treated there?
You're really treated well.
You are really treated. You are treated well.
Treated well, yeah. Good food, especially the new Gold Coast Hospital. I was up there a few weeks, a couple of weeks anyway. I'd put myself in there.
I'd like to throw this in the room. One is that depression is sometimes described, not in the I mean, I could give a scientific definition of it, which is, the brain serotonin not happening and so on.
Yeah.
But the other one would be more metaphor, which is someone in winter waiting for spring to arrive.
Yeah.
Does that resonate at all? Is that something that makes sense, or is that too
Well, I'm not.
far away?
Naturally, I would take that literally and say, well, winter is a necessary part of the seasonal
Yeah,
cycle.
you're
But
right.
but when depression is not so much natural as it is an abnormality of mental condition, and it's treated as a mental illness for that reason.
And how does that work? Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. As a sufferer of mental depression myself, major depression, and I wanted to get back. Actually, you mentioned about some examples, and one of them was that people tend to misconstrue that people who suffer from mental issues are more likely or more prone to violent behaviour, which is not the case based on Australian Bureau of Statistics information.
Okay.
So those kind of things, when it comes to back to employment and that kind of thing, people might hesitate to employ people in
So there are many misconceptions about it.
Yeah, so another point that I want to mention is when it came to doctor appointments and that kind of thing. There's a few medical practitioners in Australia that are criticising the medical establishment for not giving enough time, the GPs for not giving enough time for mental patients to actually explain their problems, because it is a very complicated problem and it takes time to explain these things.
Well, that's what I'm alluding
Yeah.
to. There are many, many things to be said about depression, and I read a book recently that absence is the bridge between us. And that is actually the key term that, if there is such a way to pull it together, that absence is the bridge between us. So it's the loss of people, it's the loss of connection with people, not being understood in the broader sense, that might be part of the field, if you like. So we have about just over a minute left, so could just maybe have 30 seconds from each of you, just where you're at with depression as a topic.
Yeah.
Or how would one get it out of the taboo? What would you like to see happen?
The problem with my age group, young people, 20s, teenagers, right, is depression is because people are actually seriously depressed. And then it's trendy to be depressed now. People are romanticising it, like romanticising self-harm, romanticising mental illness, like their Tumblr or their Facebook bio, I'm sad, that it kind of creates this sort of divide because people are, they hate people with mental illnesses now because you're either attention seeking or you actually do have a problem, but there's no real...
You're on the outer in both cases.
Yeah, because it seems like people are taking the mickey out of it in a way.
So it's almost like a community of exclusion.
Yeah. And then there's people that are kind of exaggerating it to fit in their own sort of fringe groups. They want to publicise the fact that they'll post pictures of their self-harm online and
more
stuff
of a narcissistic
like that.
kind of thing. We can't open that particular box. Very interesting for another topic.
Yeah.
Des, have you got any parting words perhaps on addressing the taboo?
Well, I feel that I'm heaps better than I was years ago with my depression and that. I've just learned a lot of things through psychology, and my psychiatrist took me off my medications because it gave me side effects. I hadn't lithium at the time.
So education is a big thing. Education helps and support.
Gave me a lot of side effects of medication. It's better actually to get yourself off the medication and work your mind, your brain to develop a different way of thinking.
So exclusion is an issue. Drug taking is not necessarily the way to go forward. Paul, any final words?
I agree with what the previous panel said as well.
What would you like to see happen, possibly?
Well, for starters, besides the education and the being careful with medication, I would actually as it is, we're currently having this sort of conversation on a societal level, keep that happening kind of thing, because that's the only thing that's going to eventually make its way into the private sectors or the industrial complex sectors. As people experience more of those issues, more company leaders are actually taking steps to recognise that, which is fantastic.
So take
that's
it more
true,
out
yeah.
to the public somewhere at a real level.
So
And would you think that programs such as mental health programs in work and mental health sick days would be beneficial as well?
we have to be careful about that.
And I'm going to also be careful about the time. So really interesting topic. Thank you very much for your participation. And no time for the panel this time, but in a longer program, plenty of time. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.